What's up, everybody? Alex here. Today I wanted to do a video where I kind of go over a few things I've been thinking about, and I didn't really know how to frame it, so I thought I'd chuck it all together in one video and ramble about the whole thing. So there's a few things like that have just been on my mind. One is just the Switch 2 in general, because I bought it on release and I just don't play it. Like I keep trying to find a reason for me to go, yes, the Switch 2, amazing, I want to play it, but there just really isn't that much that's grabbing me, and it just sort of disappoints me. It kind of like disheartens me a lot as a Nintendo fan. And it's been 8 years since the original Switch, so I did a review of the Nintendo Switch 2 on my channel, and I said good things. I had concerns. So you get it, and you're a bit excited at first, like, oh, this could be like pretty amazing. And I think now that honeymoon period's kind of over. I look at the Switch 2, and it just reminds me of how, like, I've gone from handheld to handheld, like reviewing this and that, and then just dropping whatever handheld, either because they either didn't suit my needs very well or something was better. I mean, like, for example, I get a Switch 2. I'm still playing my Odin Portal. I absolutely adore the Odin Portal. I think it's fantastic. And when people ask me about handhelds, or they want to get a certain thing, I can't help myself. I'm always trying to recommend the Portal, because I believe once people like hold it and play it, they'll go, oh my God, this is great. Like recently I talked about the Retroid Pocket 5 with someone, and there's so many amazing things to talk about the Retroid Pocket 5. Price, size, I got the grip recently, and let's talk about that now. Actually, the grip itself is not bad, but it doesn't function as well as I was hoping. So it kind of fits nicely in the palm of your hands, but I don't know if anyone else is like this, but it only made like D-pad and button face button games comfier and using the shoulders. But then I was like, that's not why I needed the grip in the first place. What I wanted a grip for was to use the sticks and shoulder buttons more effectively. And I guess if you hold it a certain way, you kind of can. Like, it's not terrible, it's not amazing either. I mean, like, when I use the grip with the Portal, I play, here it is, Fortnite. I play quite a bit of Fortnite on here. Mostly just kill the time between, like, while I'm doing work or whatever I'm doing. So, I play a game or two, and whenever I hold this, like, the grip fits so snug, the sticks feel right, the triggers feel right, and I just have an amazing time. So yeah, I'm not in love with this grip, but I would say if you are someone who doesn't find using the D-pad and face buttons comfortable, the grip will help with that, and I think that's probably the best thing that's going for it. And while looking at this, you can see that I did actually put back on the Sakura Retro modded PlayStation buttons. These were originally for the Retroid Pocket 4, and at first I decided I didn't like them, and then I reseated them this time, as I also have. This is the Odin 2 Minis D-pad. I can't really mess around with the focus right now, but you can see it's a bit translucent, and if you have an Odin 2 Mini, you know it's a pretty nice D-pad. It looks lush. So they don't, AYN don't actually sell that on their site, but if you email them and say, can I like order a couple, then they'll either add it to an existing order that hasn't gone out yet, or they can make a new order and they'll go through the process with you, and you can add other stuff. And it's kind of like worth it when, for example, I had a trigger here, as there was a bit of a squeak to my trigger, so I pulled it off, because you can do that. There's like 2 clips in there, and I've done it a few times. I was able to pull it off and have a look, except this time when I pulled the trigger off, one of the clips broke, and I did find a way to like kind of make it work. I used some tack, and I always end up using tack these days to solve things. Use some tack, and it made the button functional again. But I emailed AYN, because they do not sell Portal triggers on the site. I said, can I get some triggers? And while I'm at it, can I get D-pad? And I think there's something else. So I got 2 D-pads. I got one for this, and I got one for my Mini. I've been really wanting to talk about the Mini. So I'm hoping if anybody has ordered a Retro Pocket Mini version 2 from the site, I hope they have been enjoying them. I do believe they're still in stock if anybody still wants one, but they only come in black. Mine is now like heavily modded. So first of all, I got the replacement screen. So this is the version 2 screen, which I absolutely adore. Like, something about putting this new screen in, and then I just love the device. And yeah, just talking about the Odin 2 mini D-pad, that also fits in here, so I put that in as well. And I've already talked about how I did the face button mod for this device, so they're quieter. They are substantially quieter, which I love. I mean, I'm kind of like slamming on them, but if you're just sitting in bed or whatever, just playing this, I do not hear these buttons, and I absolutely love that. Other mod that I did is I put Saturn triggers. You can order those on the website. I thought they looked cool. I didn't bother with the L1 and R1. I just thought that looked stylish. But the big deal I want to talk about actually is, if you look at my sticks, I have modded these as well, and they are almost flush to the buttons and almost flush to the D-pad. So I'll show you what I did actually. I'm going to pull this off. Kind of comes off a little easier. I think I might have to resort to some tack or something, but you can see that these sticks are a bit shorter. And what I did, because I actually have some of these spare from ordering some parts like another time, so I thought, okay, I think I can get away with like trying this on a couple of sticks and see what happens. But I took the device apart, got the stick, and I was thinking, like, how am I going to make these shorter? I should also mention that if you're using the regular sticks, so the Retroid Pocket 5 has my regular sticks on at the moment, those kind of push down quite far into the stick on the base, so I don't think using these is going to work if you trim down this stick. You have to get so what I did, I'll leave a link to the shop in the video description. They're called ultra low profile PSP sticks, and these are actually clear. So if I wanted to, I could do LED stuff and they'll shine through. Looks pretty cool. But what I actually did afterwards is, and I've been wondering if I'll ever have a use for these. These are Vita thumb caps, but whenever anybody's asked me about them, I've always said, like, look for them on Amazon and eBay, because there's probably a store near you in your country where they sell them. But look for the thick ones, because there's thicker ones and they work way better for other things. But on this device, with this, I remembered I still have like these incredibly thin Vita thumb caps. I don't know if you can buy these anymore, but I was like, great, I have a purpose for them. So combination of buying ultra low profile PSP sticks with this particular thumb cap, which feels nice, because I don't really like 3D printed plastic. I don't like the way it feels. It feels like when you get like hot glue stuck on your thumb or your finger, it has that weird texture. I don't really like that. So that in combination with the stick. So what I did here is I got a marker and kind of marked where I thought I needed to cut. And because it's a stick and it goes like all over the place, what I ended up doing is I got a pair of very, very sharp scissors. And, I kind of like held where I wanted to cut. And I just sort of like kept squeezing and gnawing until the stick started to come a bit more loose. And it started to get easier to like chop away at the stick. But the most important part is when you get to a certain point, you want to try and make sure that the cut is as flat as possible. If it's like slightly angled, it's just going to press into this top of the stick and won't sit as flush as you'd like. So yeah, that's what I did, because one of the things I keep thinking about is with the Mini, I love so many things about it. I do wish the buttons were maybe more like the Retroid Pocket 4s or something. These are just very simple, quiet, just very effective buttons. But yeah, combination of cutting that down and getting these ultra low profile PSP sticks, and it's pretty flush. No, I really like it even more. And if you are wondering, so yeah, I feel like I could have cut it down a bit more, but I can see when I look inside here that this stick is pretty much touching at the bottom, and it still has full range of movement. Like just to prove this, if I go down to handheld settings and input joystick calibration, yeah, we can do it here. You can see I have full range of movement here. Can I back up here? I want to test it here actually. You can see I have full range of movement, and I can be delicate, and it works. It all works. It's fantastic. And yeah, everything's really quiet about it. So I actually went back to these triggers, because I put like little pieces of cardboard above the dome switches. But what I ended up doing actually was I found some sort of like flimsy plastic, you know, that had a little firmness to it, but it was like bendy. So I cut a couple of squares of that and I put those underneath the triggers. So now I can feel the click, but it's really quiet. And there's a little part of me that wants to go back inside and cut out little circles for every function button to make those incredibly quiet, but that's just nitpicking at this point. So trying to get rid of it. There we go. So yeah, one of the reasons I did that is because I love the idea of this being more flush and flatter. I feel like that's really what the whole point of it is. Maybe if Retroid in the future revisits the Mini, maybe they do a version 3, and I don't know, like it's one. I did a poll the other day where I said like Retroid have got like 4 or 5 devices on their website. What's your favorite? And the Mini didn't really come out very well in the poll. What I will say is the 5 basically come out on top, over 50%. Everybody. It's been out for over half a year. Everybody loves Retroid Pocket 5, and there's really good reason to. It's great. A lot of people like their flips. Still have my flip, except I never actually use my flip. And it like disheartens me because I do love clamshell devices, and I do think a lot of things about this is actually kind of good, but it's the placement of the buttons here. It's the fact that this doesn't go all the way properly and can be easily flung back. I don't really like how the triggers feel. They feel a little stiff, and I'd rather they just be buttons. And yeah, there's another thing, like holding it and looking at it. It's one of those things where I just don't have like this immediate gratification just holding and playing it. Like I don't really think about it, and I'm having a similar experience with the Switch 2 actually, which has gone to sleep. The Switch 2 got bored waiting for me to talk about it, and so the Flip 2 came out very well, basically about like 30% or something. So a lot of you guys are enjoying your Flip 2s, and I'm glad you are. I mean, it is a good device, but like, yeah, I'm happy to see that a device is speaking to people and doing well. And another part of that is they're more likely to do another one of these in the future. If it sells well and people are into it, they're probably going to do another one. Except if Retroid are going to do another device in the near future, they're most likely working on the Retroid Pocket 6, aren't they? And weirdly enough, the Classic, which I was just doing an update on and completely forgot about, this isn't getting much love. Maybe a different poll by a different person would probably get more results for the Classic, but I do think that this is probably potentially the best device they're currently selling right now, because the price is amazing. The performance for that price is great. The screen is OLED and is fantastic. Same screen as the Mini version 2. The speaker is incredible for the price. Really punchy, great sound. You have the option of the 4 button or the 6 button, and the 6 button is great for fighting games and other things like arcade games and stuff. I don't actually use my Classic very much, but if I think about like all my Retroid Pocket devices, it's the Flip and the Classic I'm like mostly excited about. When I think about like Retroid Pocket 5, Flip 2, or even Retroid Pocket 4, it's like I have a Portal. I'm going to use the Portal. Like once it gets to a certain size, it might as well be bigger. That's what she said. But yeah, I feel good about the Classic. I just realized while I was doing the update, I didn't actually turn the brightness down so you can see. I don't have an SD card in at the moment. I've been sort of sharing the SD card from the 5 between the Flip and the Classic. So recently I was checking out the 5 again because this just got a new update where they've improved the sound. So something that was going around on Reddit and things is there's like this DS James plugin thing, and it's an equalizer which you have to run a script from the start, and it's kind of like finicky to, if you have to restart your RP5, you have to like run those again each time, and like they make the sound like quite better. It's a lot better than it was on stock, but now there's an update that has improved the sound like forever. So if you, excuse me, if one of the reasons you weren't enjoying a 5 so much is because you thought the sound quality wasn't so good, I believe they've improved it a substantial amount. So that's pretty cool. And I mean, the 5, like, if I like I'm looking at PSP right now because I was checking this out. If I was gonna like marathon loads of PSP games and like really get back into the system, I would probably choose this because it evokes PSP vibes so much that I'd just have a good time with it. Like my brain, the endorphins will go, yes, this is awesome, let's keep going. So wow, I really am rambling today. So before I forget though, one of the reasons I was also modding my Mini and to try and make it as flush as possible is because they are now, well, it's up for pre-order. It is the add-on Retroid Pocket 5 screen. I'll leave a link for that in the description as well. So what it is it's basically a standalone screen that comes with a clip, and I think I said before that you can buy one of 2 clips. One is a Retroid clip, and it's designed to fit around Retroid devices and be used with Retroid devices. So the Mini, the Retroid Pocket 5, which I keep putting in a different place. Does it work with something else? It will tell you on the site if it works with something else. And then they also sell another clip, and you can use that with something else if it fits on it. So maybe another company's device, like an Ambinic or something. The size of the screen, I'm going to drop a handheld soon. The size of the screen is around about the size of the RP5. So, you know, that's kind of like the thing they're showcasing at first when you like go and look at it on the site. You know, it clips on here. It will fold over the screen and it won't touch the buttons here. So it's actually a really good fit for this, and it works with the grip on as well if you need that to be the case. You don't need the grip on. You can use it with or without the grip, but that's looking really cool. And I was like, I don't know if I really have a need for that, but what I am excited about is using it on the Mini, because I believe if it fits nicely and works really well, this could be a 3DS or a DS. Like, this could turn into quite an attractive dual screen device, and then also naturally become a clamshell, because if it fits flush enough, because how do I describe it? So the clip is like, it goes into the USB. I think like there's a bypass. I think you can charge at the same time, but I'm not 100%. Goes in the USB, comes around the back, and then there's a folding hinge clip here that goes over. And it might be the case that it hovers just enough that with the sticks as flush as they are, it will close and be like a 3DS. Like, it won't be perfect, but the fact these have got like little grip caps on as well will hopefully protect the screen as well, because usually with a 3DS or something, kind of like the Flip 2, actually I think I noticed when you shut the Flip 2 sometimes, if you really look at your screen, you can see some slight markings of D-pad and sticks and buttons just like faintly touching the screen, and I don't even have a screen protector on, so I'm not really too sure about that. But the 3DS is flat, they have circle pads, and that'll be really cool. So they are, I think they're releasing the screen around, I think they're shipping it at the start of August. So start of August, hoping to do a video on it sometime early August. And if it works really well as a 3DS, I am going to do a lot with this to show how it can work as like a very modern functional DS and 3DS. And that's something I'm really excited about. It's kind of funny that like the handheld I'm excited about is the one I already have. I just want like an extension thing on it. So kind of reminds me of like the old days, you know, with like the old Game Boys and things. It's like you add a light, you add speakers and stuff. So I mean, I hope that doesn't become a trend, but that could be really cool. So yeah, really excited about that. Speaking of like handhelds I'm looking forward to, or not looking forward to, and I don't have anything to show here. I would have got my PSP Go out here as a demonstration. But unfortunately, like, you know, F's in the chat, my PSP Go like died, and it's my fault because it was nearly in perfect condition, but I went to a site where I ordered like a new shell and screen. I thought I'd love a pristine PSP Go. I was really excited about that. But then while trying to do it, I think maybe the screen ribbon cable has something to do with the circuit board is Like, it turns on, but like it's not functioning properly, and I think it's beyond a point where I can fix it. So PSP Go dead. And then I was like crossing my fingers, like, okay, maybe a company's going to come out with a sliding device. And then Ambonic has got the RG slide, and it's just this big chunky bugger that's huge with a 4x3 screen, and it's just nothing I want. You know, like, I want a modern day version of PSP Go. I want it to be really tiny. I want it to be smaller than my phone. I want it to be like smaller than my phone and slide and have a really great screen, and it doesn't even need to have loads of power. As long as it can do PSP stuff, I'll be absolutely happy with it. Yeah, I'm really like just brain firing and everything. Like, why did they make the RG slide? I really have no idea. Because usually, like, I mean, this is Ambonic. They've done like a clone of the Game Boy Advance, you know? So, like, maybe they'll get to it, but I wish it was the first thing they did, and then the variant was the RG slide or something. So, my hope is the RG slide is more like a proof of concept for them, and then they can go back and maybe, like, work on something that looks like a PSP Go. So, my hope is that a PSP Go that is very close to the original is coming. Someone hopefully is making it. I've really no idea. That's what I'd like. Something else I'm looking forward to, speaking of clamshells, I don't have my Mayu Flip down here, but Mayu, or Miyu, is it Mayu? I keep forgetting. They are also making another clamshell without sticks, and they're making it simpler. It's going to be it's a little bit smaller than the Mayu Flip. So no sticks, D-pad focused, and that is going to be super cool. So as soon as they release that, I'm going to order one of those, and hopefully that has like a much improved hinge to make it more functional. And another thing I'm kind of looking forward to, I just keep grabbing this because like it's the only thing I can like reference at the moment. Ioneo are making a new flip device, which is the 1S, and it's a dual screen. I think they're doing one that is also a keyboard as well. But it's like a Windows handheld device. It's really powerful, and well, I mean, maybe they'll do a Kickstarter or something, and they'll have a really early bird price. But like, you know, regular retail price, it's probably going to be like well over $1,000. I just don't see the point in buying like a Windows handheld with 2 screens. It's just way too powerful, way too much power for the price. A company really needs to make something dual screen that is like way cheaper for everyone to buy, because I think a lot of people are going to be really into that, and it's just it's either a matter of time or something, but someone's going to do it eventually. So yeah, I've just mass talked about Retroid, what they're coming out with, maybe some other handhelds coming in the future. So that really just leaves what I thought I was going to start with in the first place, is the Nintendo Switch 2. Hang on, it's not. It's not. And I just keep trying to find something I want to play on this, because it just sort of boggles my mind that we have a brand new console. This is a brand new console, like next generation, you know. And to me, it's like one of the like flattest, most boring launches for a console I've ever seen. It's got like, you've got Mario Kart. Oh, everything needs an update on here because I haven't touched it in days. I mean, I played, you know, I got my brother to play this with me, and we did all the cups, and, you know, we had a bit of a laugh, and we were like, it's good, but like, we could happily play Mario Kart 8 if we wanted to. Yeah, there's just like really not a lot I've been wanting to check out. So I'm thinking about like going to a store tomorrow and seeing if I can pick up some stuff. Maybe I'm kind of interested in seeing Splatoon 3, because I played the second one. It was alright. My favorite thing about Splatoon 2 was the salmon run. That mode was so good, and you get so annoyed at randoms that don't know what they're doing. I like other stuff about the Switch 2 as well, like if you didn't know, Resident Evil 5 has complete gyro support in the game. So you know, I'll get. Does everything need up? Oh, it's a system update. Sorry, I am looking at the capture on my screen, and I just couldn't read that very well. System update. So what is really weird, actually, is Resident Evil 4 is on the Nintendo Switch, but it is not the version that has the Wii controls. So you can't do any gyro aiming. I just realized I can turn the sound down like this. That's handy. So Resident Evil 4 on the Switch, no gyro aiming, which I think's like, okay, it's not that big a deal, but I remember one of my favorite experiences playing Resident Evil 4 again was the Wii version. I thought it was so cool playing that game that way. So Resident Evil 5, I believe it was on the PlayStation 3 with the Move controllers, and I think they did motion on that. So I don't know if they're doing a version of that which also just happens to work with this. So is it an extra content? Cool thing about RE5 on here is you start up Mercenaries and it has everything, like all the players, all the levels, and you can do No Mercy. And this used to be a PC only mode where there's way more enemies, and it runs really smooth on here as well, which really surprised me. So I thought that was super cool. So if I just run the first level and just pick Chris, for example, you can turn this on in the settings, the motion aiming. What is it about loading screens where everybody just goes quiet? I don't know if that's like, does anybody else notice that? Like a loading screen happens and everybody's just quiet until it finishes sometimes. So yeah, if I aim and I can use the gyro of the Joy-Con, and it works pretty well. Like, I'm gonna be crap if I try and play this right now. But I was so when I did like the update to transfer all the Switch 1 over to the Switch 2, I was like, I wonder what I've got here. And I was like, Resident Evil 5. Why did I buy Resident Evil 5 on the Switch? And then I remembered, I was like, oh my god, yeah, this is like the only version you can play that has the gyro aiming, which was something I was really into. I don't know. It's just one of those like kind of fun gimmicky ways of like returning to a game and going, oh yeah, I could probably like play that whole thing again. Especially have a mate. Like, I want to see if my brother or somebody wants to play all of Resident Evil 5 again, but with gyro controls. I just think that's really neat. I think 6, Resident Evil 6 has gyro as well. I'm just trying to get a headshot. There we go. Kick them all. Or punch them. Yeah, Chris, with your boulder smashing arms. Fantastic. But yeah, as I was saying, like the launch of the Switch 2 and all it has is Mario Kart. Like, if they launched with Donkey Kong Bonanza, like I would have been playing that like every day. That looks like a really fun game. I mean, the Switch 2 ended up, it does have third-party support. If you go to the shop, you know, you can see that it has like a bunch of games, you know, which people have played like 2 or 3 years ago or something, like Cyberpunk and Street Fighter and all that kind of thing. But like, it's just not really exciting for people returning to the Switch. Like, the Switch kind of like more and more reminds me of like an Apple or Meta product where like it's just like an upgrade and you do exactly what you did before, and they want you to pump money in it, so they want you to buy like the subscription services. They want you to buy all the accessories to make it better than that they actually designed it for, because maybe they did that on purpose, you know, just like, you know, if we work with all these companies and make accessories and make our own, then, you know, we'll make a ton more money. And it just kind of like frustrates me. Like, why did it have to be this way? Nintendo was such an exciting company. Like, every release, like, exciting, and I miss the days when it had like Reggie or Wata, and they did like really fun stuff with the Directs. Guy that made Smash Brothers, what's his name? I've lost it now. It's like Sakurai. There we go, Sakurai. Those 3 guys were incredible, and one of the reasons to be really excited about Nintendo. And I have like this little list I was thinking about, like things that should have been like really exciting about the Switch 2. So like 120 hertz 4K. I don't know how many games are actually taking advantage of 4K docked at the moment, and also 120 hertz. It's like there's a couple of games that take advantage of it in handheld mode, which is like Zelda. But I really have no interest in playing Zelda again right now. So I'm sure if you're like a big Nintendo fan, I'm sure that's really exciting. But like, it's not the kind of like thing that I'm going, oh, you know, it just reminds me of like upgrading a PC a bit or something. And that's kind of like a disappointing thing about Nintendo for me. I really miss when they were like an event. Nintendo used to be such an event company. Like, everything about them, new console, just, it just really big buzz. You know, you'd really look forward to Nintendo Direct or something, and that just really isn't the case. Speaking of Directs, actually, the State of Play Sony did, that was incredible. That was an incredible State of Play. I thought I had like a bunch more to talk about with the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I think this is one of those devices where Nintendo are probably going to expect a lot of things from the Switch 2, and it might like bite them in the ass down the line. I mean, it's been 8 years since the Switch 1 released, and after 8 years, like the Switch 2 that we have, it is kind of impressive, but it's like this slim and it has the power and it has its and that stuff, but it's also kind of stubborn. Like, if they had gone with a thicker device and maybe some different ergonomics and things like that, they probably could have packed more power and stuff into it, and that could have been really cool. But like, it's almost anal of them to be like, it's got to be exactly like the Switch one was, but we can make it a little bit bigger and, just not really change anything about it. Kind of reminds me of how like going from virtual reality headsets. Actually, this kind of reminds me of the Valve Index in a way, where you get like this crazy cool, like big new headset. It has one launch game with it, which was Half-Life Alyx, which was cool to be fair. And then they didn't release any games for it. And then you're stuck with all the old PC games that you were playing anyway on the headset. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And I guess one thing I wanted to talk about was Mario Kart World. I realize I can start that now because it's a system update and not a thingy update. So something that, like, once I thought about this, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Look at the world we have. All the different locations. You can drive around, do whatever you want. And the free roam is just really basic. You just drive around and there's a couple of challenges around. And that's pretty much it. So sort of reminds me of how, like, back in the day, I remember like playing Just Cause 2 after I did everything, and there was like no events to do. It was just a really pretty place and you're just driving around, and it was like, oh, is this it? Okay. But the thing I was thinking about was Nintendo are known for like their sports games and working with different companies and stuff, and one game I was like really super into was Mario Golf. And what Mario Golf did, they kind of had an RPG storyline to it. And I thought, wow, Mario Kart World. Imagine having this whole world and like there's like NPC characters and people to talk to, and maybe you have this goal of being the best driver in the world, and you do the different tournaments around the world, maybe level up your kart, things like that. That could have been a really exciting prospect and sort of really like make that $80 price tag more interesting, because that price is just ridiculous. But no, you just have like, it's just a fairly bare bones free roam, and I gotta be honest, actually, like coming back to the main screen, like it has some of the GP modes, which is just very standard. I played a few rounds of the multiplayer, so I went into, what's it called? Knockout Tour. Knockout Tour is brutal. And it's like, unless you like stay up in like the top 3 places or something, you get hit by what I call the mob, which is just everybody behind you with like way better items, and you just fall back, and the mob tears you apart. So I think that's kind of cool. But like, I think Mario Kart World would have been sick if it had like an RPG single player mode. Yeah, that could have been really dope, and do like a cool Mario Kart story or something, like something they've never done. Because Mario Kart World at this point in time is like, if you compare Mario Kart World with Mario Kart 8, it's like there's not that much different between them. It's just like, just some of the functionality of how the GP runs, going from race to race manually and so on, which is still really strange because like you only get to play like 2 laps of it or something. You driving there is 1 lap, and then you play like 2 laps, I think. Me and my brother were playing it, and we were just really confused. So, yeah, that's just like my thoughts on Mario Kart. Like, it's a fun game, but like, I think they could have been really more ambitious about it. Oh, also, this is Grime. I worked on Grime. I did the music for Grime, but like the Nintendo Switch port is like not fantastic, unfortunately. It like if there was like time to do it, there could be a patch that's released for the Nintendo Switch version where it would unlock the frame rate and other stuff, and it would just, this has the hardware to run it perfectly at 60 frames. So like maybe that's a possibility. We'll see what happens. And Mario Odyssey actually looks pretty cool on the Switch too after the update. But I can't believe it's actually been like 7 years since I played that game. It's been a really long time. Anyway, that's quite a lot of rambling, and I think I'm going to wrap that up because my throat is dry and I don't know how much I can go on talking about all this stuff. So, yeah, covered a lot of topics. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe. Hopefully, I'm very excited to see what this will be like as a 3DS device. So, waiting for the screen, that'll be really cool. Everybody fingers crossed for an actual PSP Go like style device from somebody. Hoping that's going to be a thing. Anyway, everybody enjoy your day. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.